Alright, we got a 2001 Ford Excursion. Just a no beater truck. Paid $1,000 for it. It was a V10 automatic 4x4. Got some bald tires. Back quarter panels beat up. Trailer hit it. Paid $1,000 for it. Motor was already blown. Transmission was good. Got a 93 12 valve. I actually had it delivered from a guy. He delivered it to my house for $1,000. Motor delivered, you know, had all the everything already pulled. It was already, you know, ready to go. Didn't have no wiring with it though, which you don't need. Factory, the Dodge factory intercooler, I end up just fitting it in there, making some brackets because it fits right in that radiator support real easy. I hope I'm not getting a lot of wind noise on this, but anyways, pretty much just put it in there, make some brackets for the intercooler. I welded them up and use the Dodge factory piping there. And then this I got off eBay, like $12, whatever. And made some, went to exhaust place. They had some pipe that fit nice. Put the elbows together for the intercooler. This is the Dodge intake. And that's the factory 12 valve exhaust manifold. Flipped it up because it can go either way. So just flipped it up. Had this oil cooling line or whatever it's called for the turbo. Had it made. It was like $30 at Hose Fast in Dallas, Texas. This is the Ford V10 radiator. Works really good. The factory Cummins fan. The tachometer kit I made myself. It's kind of goofy looking, but it works somewhat okay. Cut 4 notches in the dampener, 4 notches evenly. There was already 1 notch there, so I only had to do 3. And then used the crank sensor, wired it up to the dash, the tachometer thing, sensor, whatever it's called. Now, I'm a glass guy. I don't know nothing about this stuff. This is my first time ever, so I'm naming off, you know, stuff wrongs, whatever. I'm not a diesel mechanic. I bought these motor mounts from DCS, Diesel Conversion Specialists. They fit perfect. They're like $250 or something like that. And to make it run, you just need this one wire to open up the fuel cylinders, or the fuel solenoids. See, I got that one wire going, so when I turn the key on, it gives power to it, and I turn it off and it kills it. And then this is the factory throttle cable from the V10. I need to shorten it. I only have, you know, a little bit. I just finished a swap about 3,000 miles ago, so I got a few little things I need to button up, but yeah, I just ran that. It's pretty simple, self-explanatory. My valve covers are, I didn't change that gasket when I did the swap because I plan on changing the whole setup on that. But anyways, there's the adapter plate I got from D-Stroke. It's good. Well, hold on. I went with the ZF6 transmission from a 2005 Super Duty 6.0 Power Stroke, whatever. That's a pretty stout transmission. Kind of wish I wouldn't have did that because it's a little too much for this Excursion. I feel like it rides kind of like an 18-wheeler, I guess. I don't know. It just, the way it shifts, it's stout, man. I feel like whatever I can hook up to it, I can probably just yank it out of the ground or whatever. But anyways, and on the power steering, all I had to do was just find fittings that would fit, you know, because you need that one high pressure line. All you gotta do is find a fitting that fits one side into the other, and that's pretty easy. And on the wiring, you pretty much take the V10 harness, you disconnect everything, and you take it in your house, and you or your garage, whatever, nice clean open space, and you slowly start cutting away stuff that you know you won't need, which means you don't need a fuel injector. You know, you literally just pull the pins out of the harness, and then you just delete everything you don't need, because the only thing you need is your sensor for the oil pressure switch, coolant temp sensor, and you know, there's one wire for the tachometer or whatever, and each year is different. Mine happened to be a white wire or whatever, I think it was, but anyways, you know, you pretty much got to do your research on all that, but on which wire's what. But if you want to, you don't even need all that to have this running. All you need is just one wire to have it running, but you do want your sensors to be working on the dash. So just be sure and, you know, figure out what's what. But the easiest way is to do one thing at a time. Get rid of all your injectors. Get rid of your, you know, mass airflow sensor or whatever, and all that stuff that you don't need. Just clip it, throw it in trash, whatever. And then to make the sensors fit inside the transmission, I mean inside the motor, you just go to a hardware store or online, figure out what size thread is what, and you can get these little adapters, and they're, you know, $15 or whatever, and then just put them in there. You know, it's pretty easy. You just get on Google and figure out what goes where as far as what's on the Cummins and then what's on the V10 or whatever you're working on. What else is there? Yeah, and the exhaust, you just run it straight out, you know, wherever. I took mine to a shop and they did a straight pipe, so it's pretty easy. And and on your adapter stuff, all the adapting plates and stuff, you just go to DCS or Auto World. I got D-Stroke stuff because, you know, I thought that was a better company, but their stuff is good, but they take forever for shipping, and they ship you the wrong stuff, and they want you to pay for a return and all this. Yeah, it ended up being a headache dealing with D-Stroke. But anyways, this alternator. This alternator fits a 2001 F-150 with the V6. Okay, that's what the alternator is for. That's what, when you go to the store and buy an alternator, you can get that. And what that'll do is that'll be the same housing as a it's like the same as a 6.0, I think it is 6.0 Power Stroke diesel or whatever. It's the same housing, but it has the plug to where you can just use your same harness on the V10 truck. Because when you buy these brackets here from Diesel Conversion, which is like 200, I think. This bracket is just for the 6.0 Power Stroke alternator, but it has a different harness. So you know, this truck was a V10, so different wiring harness. So I knew a lady that worked at a rebuild shop, alternator rebuild shop, and she's like, well, you know what, you can just use this 01 F-150 alternator and it'll work perfect, and it's still got plenty of power. So that works really good. It keeps both of my batteries charged, I guess. I don't think you need 2 batteries, but I had them, so I used them. So what else is there? Oh, on the transmission, I had to do for the wiring to get the truck to start when I turned the key. I had to wire up. Can't really see it because I got it all tucked away in there, but had to wire the neutral safety switch or whatever, however that works. I'm not sure. I don't remember now that I've done it. But if you get on YouTube and do ZF6 swap, you'll see a guy. He shows you how to do it. Shows you how to cut the wires and run a pin to jump it and all that. But I won't go into that detail because there's already a good YouTube video on that. But as far as the transmission goes, if you want to put the 12 valve in the truck, you need to scoot the transmission back a little bit. And pretty much what you do to scoot it back, it's real simple. But you see that brace going across, holding the tail end of the transmission up? You need to scoot back a little bit to fit that long 12 valve under the hood. But you see how there's an empty hole right here? There's an empty hole on the frame because these two actually went up there. So this back bolt was right here, and then that front bolt was right there. So all I had to do was scoot it back, you know, both that one in there because it was already ready to go, and then drill a hole through there and then a hole through there, and then same thing here. You know, you got these two were up here, you know, so just scoot it back with one hole and then drill the other two and you're good. And then that same, I think that stayed in the same location. I don't think I moved anything on that. But the truck's not really done. I don't have, I'm putting a lift on the front, and I got new 20-inch tires. I got to get the rims for those. And oh yeah, and then the transfer case, if you got 4x4, you're gonna need to make space for that. But you'll see that once you work on it. You'll see, oh, it's gonna hit that. So you gotta trim the frame up a little bit. But yeah, my truck looks all dirty and stuff. The oil looks like it's leaking crazy because the valve cover is leaking pretty good. I'm trying to figure out what I'm gonna do with that before I start working on that. But anyways, as far as drive shafts go, you just take your old one off, and you tell the people at the drive shaft place, hey, I moved my transmission back this far. I think it was like 2 3/4 or something. I forget what it was, but each transmission is going to be different. And you just tell them, hey, I need it shortened or lengthened for the front one if it's 4x4. and you know, these have this little slip thing, so it's really easy to you know, to play with. You got a lot of space, but it's that's pretty easy, really. It took me a couple months because I was waiting on D-stroke for bunch of freaking parts, and they end up sending the wrong stuff. But anyways, yeah, it's pretty easy, really. A lot of guys like to use Auto Worlds. If you want to do that, man, you'd probably be better off. What else? Oh, the fuel line. The fuel, you know, this was gas. I wish I had a fuel tank for a 7.3 diesel Excursion, but I don't. So I dropped the tank and just put a metal tube, like metal line, like a transmission line, and I bent it and you know, put it down in as low as I can get it. With I think it was like a ½ inch off the bottom or a ¼ inch or something, and then just with some fuel line hose, tied it up, you know, to the regular fuel line that's in the truck. But so I pulled the pump out and everything, you know. It was real easy. So basically just need to make a straw, pickup straw, and just tie it up. And then let's see what I did over here in this junk. Oh yeah, see there's a filter housing. I just bypassed that fuel line, and then just tie it. Sorry, horrible video taker here. Recorder or whatever. Here, see right here, fuel lines, just tied them into the mechanical pump. Now, if you got lots of money and you want to go fast and all that shit, you buy your electric one and do it that way, but I'm not interested in all that. But what I did on that 12 valve fuel is I deleted that little heater, little plastic heater thing that goes between the intake and the fuel filter. Deleted that, and you gotta buy a separate connector for it, but it's like $15 at Cummins or whatever. It's cheap. So yeah, it's pretty much it, man. There's that mechanical pump. But that ZF6, I went with D-stroke adapter plate and a South Bend clutch with the South Bend flywheel and all that stuff. See, I didn't even need that. I didn't know I could just open up the factory. I think it was the factory Dodge flywheel. I could have reused that. Instead, the D-stroke told me to buy the South Bend one or whatever. So that was a lot of money I didn't need to spend when I could have made the other one work. I just had to take the other one to a machine shop and they'd hole it out for me. But lesson learned. But yeah, I think this radiator hose was the factory V10 one too. So yeah, a lot of stuff you can just reuse from the V10 and just make it work. Just got to be creative with it. And mine does not have a fuel heater or fuel block heater, none of that. It's got the block heater, don't have anything with the fuel heating system in it, which we don't need in Texas really. But I've started it in 6-degree weather and you just bump the key and it starts. Oh, and here's the clutch. Yeah, it's that wire I'm going to shorten for the pedal, the fuel pedal. But yeah, the deal is, yeah, we have nothing but gravel out here, so I bought this vinyl floor. It's real wrinkly, man, but it hasn't had a summer on it yet, so hopefully it'll lay down because it's been cold. But whatever. But yeah, the truck had 212,000 when I bought it, and so did the motor, so that worked out good. So now I got almost 215, but it's got a lot of money to put in it. It's just a family wagon. But that's it, man. I hope that helps you out.